What's up, Miranda? Guys, we're back with another Persona 3 Reload video and Persona 3 Portable video. Now, we're gonna talk about today about things or mechanics or stuff that Persona 3 Reload did not have from Persona 3 Portable. Back in the day, we've heard, now I don't know how much legitimacy has that, but like Atlas devs are like, Reload will take the script of Persona 3 Portable. Now, I can't find the article, but I might have to deep dig search it. But what it was telling, hey, everything from Portable, from the main protagonist, the male protagonist, will be in Reload. So I will call it out. Not everything did came to Reload. We're just gonna talk about it. So the first thing we gotta talk about is this. Oh, spoilers for P3 Portable, I guess. Is the Vision Quest. Now, this is a exclusive quest for the Portable, and I know you guys are seeing FemC here, but no, you can do this with the male protagonist as well. The Vision Quest was basically, I want to say, replacing Episode, I guess, because it wasn't on the PSP, because this was basically the place where you do Episode, I guess, the Abyss of Time. And as far as I know, the Vision Quest was supposed to come in the game, but it was later scrapped. And this is what happens is you fight your old enemies, but like they're toughened up and you get like really powerful items. And at the end, you fight Margaret. So these two things are actually removed. And this isn't anything FemC related. You can do it with FemC and you can do it with the male protagonist. I will talk about this later. But next thing we want to talk about is Vincent. Now, as far as you don't know, Vincent is a character from Catherine Full Body. That game is an underrated gem. I've done a playthrough on the channel, but Vincent is a character. You talk to him in the Polonia Mall. I forgot the name of this escapades, this drinking area of escapades, and talks to you every month after every full moon about his life and stuff. And you give him, you give him advice and stuff, and he'll just talk with you about it. This was a nod to Catherine Full Body. This guy is not in Reload. And the other character that's not in Reload is Kashiwagi. Now, she is from Persona 4. And I feel like what impact she has on the community. A lot of people would have said, yeah, it's cool, Kashiwagi is not in the game. So, Operation Babe Hunt. Let's talk about that. It's a event in P3 where you go hunt babes in the beach. It's called Operation Babe Hunt. So in P3 Fest, there was a joke about trans people, and like it was a very offensive joke. In Portable, I believe that joke doesn't exist. I have only done Portable with the female protagonist, and they replaced it with Kashiwagi. In Reload, they added another joke, but not against the trans, like not against trans, but like just a joke overall, like about this girl being like delusional and trying to sell you something, stuff like that. They added this joke. So they changed this 3 times. Now, the reason I bring these 3, is I don't know how this works between them, like the Atlas and everything like that. So, like, if the dev teams are given Persona 3, they've been given like Persona 3, like, can they use characters from other Persona games and other Atlas IPs? I know it's like Atlas owns everything, but obviously there has to be paperwork and stuff, and there has to be some official contracts and stuff, and like licensing this character for this game. Obviously, if you can make the argument that for P4 that wasn't the case, especially since, well, they were trying to add Margaret in Reload, it was just scrapped in the data. So you can make the argument that Kashiwagi and Margaret could have made to P3. You can make the argument because it's the same thing. I think Vincent might be a bit complicated, where they have to, go through like left and right, and it will take time to just add a cameo Vincent. And it was just a portable cameo, so I feel like there's a reason they didn't do that. I don't know what was this reason. My main thing for this is because we know P4 is getting a remake. They already had planned P4 getting a remake, like developing a P4 remake. It's just one of those things is they planned for this, and they were like, okay, we're gonna use those characters. Like, we don't want these characters that are, like Reload is for newer fans, newer Persona fans, right? Like, it's for those that have played P5. Reload is for those. So I feel like what they did was they're like, okay, we don't want any correlation with P4, any characters from P4 like joining the P3 like roster or being a part of the P3 universe yet. like maybe in the future if they ever touch FMC, they might reconsider and add Kashiwagi and then maybe Margaret for like the boss fight and this for the male protagonist. But again, I feel like this is something that was done in case of, we don't want P4 characters in P3. That's also one of my copiums saying we didn't get FMC is because, she meets Yukiko. But I feel like the reason they removed these is just because they were like, okay, we're gonna make a P4 remake and we just don't want these characters to like get linked with P3 yet, because newer fans are gonna be playing the game and they want their experience to be as maximum as possible. Not like, oh, you don't know about this character, like you don't know about Margaret, she's from P4. Oh, you don't know about Vincent, he's from Catherine, though Vincent is another case. Or you don't know about Kashiwagi, she's from P4. Maybe that was the thought process. We'll never know. Now the next, like, this is something, Margaret is a boss fight, so this is like, if this was in the game, it would have been cool. These two are not that big of a deal. I feel like yeah, cameo, cool. Catherine is a really good game, go play it, underrated. And Kashiwagi, those who have played P4, I feel like nobody cares. Like, maybe there might be Kashiwagi fans that are like, oh, I wanted to see my hot babe teacher, but like, she has damaged a lot of characters in Persona. Next thing is something I've been talking about a lot. It's that there are two mechanics from Portable that have not made in Reload, which is crazy to me because these mechanics are also in future Persona games that they just didn't add. They were like, yeah, we're not adding these. And this is what makes me like, a lot of people will go, Persona 3 Reload is too green or this and that, like things that don't really matter. But like, it's like these things do matter to me. So one of them is that Persona 3 Portable had follow-up attacks, and this is something that a lot of future Persona games had. 3 Fest did not have that, but Persona 3 Portable. Now, if people will go in the comments like, well, Fest didn't have it, so follow-up attacks are something that won't be in the game because they're trying to be, accurate to Fest. First of all, that argument is stupid. If they were going for Fest, well, they would do weapons variety from Fest. They would add a lot of the duo Persona attacks that like, even after episode I guess some of them are missing, like they're not in the game. And if they were like taking Fest, then we wouldn't get Tyuji's and Shift, the Shift mechanic. And both of those mechanics are from P5 and P5R. The Shift mechanic is from P5, the Baton Pass, which was then later to also in Royal. And the Tyuji mechanic is from P5R, Showtime mechanic. Yeah, they've changed some of the stuff. Shift mechanic is the same. It's the same from P5. In Royal, it gives you additional buffs, but like that was removed. And I think for gameplay balances, that was fine that they removed that. And Showtimes and Tyuji's are like special moves. They just like work differently, activate differently, if I have to say. So saying that, oh, they didn't do it because they were being accurate to Profess, or they didn't do it because, yeah, like, no, this doesn't make sense. Here's the thing. So follow-up attacks is basically what you do is in P3 they work differently. In other games they were like the character would do a special move. Obviously in Portable it was something new and this was not in Fest. So what they did, follow-up attacks were basically duo attacks with like the protagonist. Like the protagonist will be, and I guess other characters too. It was mainly the protagonist, I believe. And like the protagonist would be like one of the side characters would be like, I'm going to, and the protagonist and that side character would attack. Like here we have Ken would go with FemC and like hit the enemy, and this is something they remove. This is something that will always be weird to me why they removed that, especially since this is a staple game mechanic that nobody like even was like this is bad or terrible. This was a very staple mechanic in the Persona series, which for some reason they removed. Like 3 Portable had it, 4 Golden had it, 5 had it, Royal had it, and like they just removed it from Reload, which is shocking to me. They were like, yeah, let's, and like one of those things is like saying that they are not adding mechanics from future Persona games is also weird, because this is a remake and then Raido is a remaster, and they added like shadows, like demons from Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. So it's always weird to me that a game that came out next year, that obviously they had plans for a while and they were developing, they added mechanics from future games to that, like shadows, but they didn't do it like a mechanic from future games. I mean, this isn't even from a future game. I just said Portable had it. The other mechanic, now, for some reason, I can't find the Portable or the golden version. I know it's called the Mortal Blow mechanic, but for some reason, I just can't find it. Maybe it's another mechanic. But, so there's a mechanic in Persona 4 Golden, pretty portable, and Persona 5 and 5 Royal, is that when the protagonist is in near death, so the way the Persona games work is when the protagonist dies, the game over, even if your side party members are alive. So when the protagonist dies, it's game over. But when the protagonist is about to die and you are a certain confidant rank with one of your party members, they will come out of their way to push Joker away or push the protagonist away and like will take the blow themselves. Now Portable had this mechanic. It's not in Reload. Portable didn't need you to do a social link rank up. They just had it. So I don't know why they removed the Mortal Blow mechanic, especially since this is also a staple from, you know, future Persona games. For some reason, they just decided we're not gonna do that. Like this is a mechanic that was in whatchamacallit, like so many, like in Persona 4 Golden, like I said, in Portable, and then in 5 and 5 Royal. So this was one of the features, like when I say Reload is disappointing in my videos, these are the two reasons I mean it's disappointing, is that there are like mechanics that are staple in the Persona series for years, and these mechanics, these aren't just, hey, mechanics, like, oh, they just exist, nobody cared. Like, these are staple mechanics that help enhance the gameplay and help people a lot. Like, there are also other mechanics in P5R that never made it to Reload, but those mechanics were in P5R, so it's like maybe they didn't want to add them. But this is something I hope they don't do with Golden. Well, with Golden, they don't even have an excuse, unless they pull the, we're keeping it from P4, like something like that. But alright, Mirandigas, tell me in the comments below which mechanic you feel like should have been added, or which character you feel like should have been added and removed unfairly. I feel like maybe a lot of people might say Kashiwagi because there's no reason for not to be there. But tell me in the comments below, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time with another Persona, Shin Megami, Dragon Ball Fairy Tail, whatever video. Consider subscribing, trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. I'm looking to stop recording. Bye, 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 bye.